Hi everyone, welcome back. Welcome to another weekly episode of the Interconnected-ness, a weekly oracle series. I am the memory astrologer, and this weekly message is for the week of April 4th, 2022 through April 10th, 2022. So can you please like, share, and subscribe? Like this message, thumbs up this message, share it with those people who you like, who make you feel seen, understood, loved, fulfilled. Share it with them. Share with those groups and those organizations that make you feel seen and fulfilled and whole and nourished and understood. Remember to please subscribe and turn the ringer on to be able to hear when the new videos are dropping, okay, everyone? I want you to please, if you want to know how to send me a love offering, the link is in the link tree in the description box below. And if you would like to schedule a reading, or if you would like to come on the playful platform of Patreon, the link is in the link tree in the description box below, okay, everyone? I want to thank you again for tuning into another weekly episode of the Interconnected-ness with me, the memory astrologer. So remember to be open and to be aware of this message. We have to do our 3 deep cleansing breaths in through our nose and out through our mouth slowly. To be open, to be aware, and to be ready for this message. To be ready for this message. So we are almost in Kingship Week. And if you like, girl, like, why you keep saying this? So Kingship Week is very detrimental and very important to us, as I feel, because as we are learning and going through the journey to awakening our own identity, our own understandings of ourselves. I mean, the understandings that it's been left there, our ancestors left it, our grandparents left it, our parents left it, our community left it. The history is there. It's just waiting for us to, to pick it up and to move it and to tweak it. And that's what kingship is about. It's about realizing the divinity within, realizing the honor, the power, the authority, realizing that, molding it, integrating it, into using it to best service us. And you're like, girl, how can this best service us if we ain't like real life kings? But we are. We grow our understandings of life each and every day. Each and every time we make a mistake, each and every time we take on a new obstacle, we try on a new path, we are learning about life and learning about ourselves. Learning about ourselves. And that's why I call it kingship. You feel me? Everybody can't run a kingdom, but everybody can be able to learn how to run themselves and be able to understand themselves. And isn't a family a kingdom? Isn't a community a kingdom? And being able to grow and at least have an understanding of that perspectives allows us to be better leaders. But whole time, kingship not the only, you feel me, kingship that one can walk into. There's queendom, there's jackdom, and there also, I always like to put out that 10s are the apprentice. 10s is the first understanding. Okay, the first understandings. So first things first, let's look at all the cards that fell out. We're going to put it back in the deck, and then we're going to get our reading. Okay, I really like this. So first things first, Ace of Diamonds, 10 of Diamonds, 6 of Hearts, 2 of Diamonds. So we've been putting a whole lot of evaluation into our heart space. We've been putting a whole lot of evaluation into things that we want to service us. And I see that we are slowly blossoming and slowly going down a new path. It could be financial. It could be a new job. It can be a new way of income. It could be a new way of evaluating. That's what I'm saying. The kingship, it allows us to open different portions of ourselves. And from this, I see that we've been really putting a whole lot of emphasis into growing into understanding our own evaluations, our own worths, especially on how it means to us as who we are growing into. And I see just from this whole synopsis, it has broadened our sense of our emotions. This has broadened our sense of understandings of how things are connected, not just, within us, but within the communities, how feelings come from situations and environments, but how also those environments can allow you to take back and to take the lessons. So I see a whole lot of growth physically, that we have been through, that we have been acknowledging, that we are now journeying through. And I see that it ends with the Two of Diamonds, and the Two of Diamonds is allowing or partaking on the co-partnerships of life, the co-partnerships in building longevity. I like this because it starts out lonely. It understands that the purpose of other people. It understands, I need to also be mindful of myself. And now it's just like, how do I balance all of these things at the same time? But it's also speaking of partnerships that's coming. How can we be in flow with the partnerships? And here I see a little tension in our head. I see a little tension in our body and our mind. I think the tension is not like tension like anger, but I think it's more so jitteriness, like what to do with all this energy, this mental energy. And I think we really need to take a step back, gather ourselves, honor the situation, be full in gratitude, and keep moving. We need to acknowledge how far we came right now. Acknowledge how far we came right now. I like this. All right, so let's get the message of the week. Ooh, what is the message of the week? Let's break this out again. Okay, let's see. Okay, being in flow with emotions and what's being presented to us. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. We need to be very mindful of the type of people we're giving our energy to. Also allow people to know what's really going on. If this is something that we want to know. Okay. I like that. Allow people to know what's really going on. And the Two of Clubs came out upright. All right, so let's see. I love it. The Six of Diamonds and the Two of Clubs. The clubs, that's that energy we was talking about, that it doesn't feel like a tension. It more feels like a jitteriness. That's what this is talking about. Let's look at. So let's do the stepping stones first and second. So the first stepping stone of this week is going to be a evaluating week. It's going to be just letting us know how far we've came. And for us to understand how far we came, we have to understand that there is a lot of maturity that one has reached. And with the maturity, we have to sit back, realize, and understand all the hard work that has been taken. And here, we need to be very mindful of how we are pushing ourselves. We need to be very mindful of what we want to do this week. Let's write it down and put it in motion. Because since we have grown through this maturity, Our plans might have changed. Our understandings might have changed. Our body might be a little exhausted. And right now, let's do this week as a culmination of a congratulation and of a nurturing of self. Nurturing of self. Yes, nurturing of self. This week we might be understanding our own worth and the worth of our environments, the worth of the people within our environments, and how they have allowed us to grow, to adventure into life, but also how that has allowed us to be more receptive, not just within ourselves, but then all of the ways that we are engaging. This stepping stone with the Six of Diamonds and the Two of Clubs is letting us know that our energy, our mind, and our heart, to go to the next level, we need to reevaluate. We need to look at things holistically, see things responsibly, and allow us to honor the parts, release, and let go. I like the Six of Diamonds because it allows us to understand our purpose. That means our awareness to ourselves, our awareness to our body, our awareness to the continuous lessons, the continuous forces and resources that assist us. And it allows us to, I want to say, extend that out to other people. Because we went through this, we can give this. But that's when we are moving and when we are reevaluating. It allows us to take the messages, to take the downloads that are currently present within our mind, within our body, but within the communications that's happening. Allow the clarity that we are seeking for us to be open to it. Allow us to be open to the clarity that we are seeking. But also evaluate the plans that we are wanting, because the maturity that we have blossomed and grown into, it has allowed us to now see the path, our path, understandings. It now allows us to see relationships from a new perspective that we weren't usually privy to. And now from this, let's allow ourselves to use these tools to our advantage. To our advantage. And I just want to add a oracle card because I haven't pulled an oracle card in so long. Ooh, and so long. So the oracle card. Okay, so this one fell out. We're gonna. Oh, I like it. It's grounded and it was reversed. So remember, we need to. It was okay. There we go. Sorry. We need to be more understanding of what grounded looks like to us, and that's okay because we have this new sense of maturity that we usually didn't have. We have this new sense of identity we didn't have. You know what that just means? A redefinition of self, redefinition of our thought process of who we really are. You know, our elevation, our spiritual growth, our deeper unconscious self has been transformed. So now we get to intertwine the transformness of our unconscious selves with the previous lessons that we went through. So now we get to use the lessons and use the unconscious parts of ourselves to integrate it, to bring now this new force, this new clarity. And when this clarity is presented to us in the upcoming weeks, we're going to then say, wow, this actually was from my highest good. Grounded Reverse says, many of the most evolved beings on earth are regular folks, living with joy, dignity, and courage. Joy, dignity, and courage. Okay, we have a whole lot of cards that are falling out. Okay, so we're just going to read the cards, and we're going to be open with them. So remember, the very first card that fell out was Grounded Reverse. The second card that fell out was Trust Reverse, and that is the being open to be receptive of what's going on. You are maturing. You have this newfound layer of understanding, and now this is the time period for the transformation to go through your mental, your unconscious, your heart, and then your everyday life. How can those things be more in flow? We've been asking that question for about the past 3 weeks. And it's totally normal to go through changes and to allow our life to be shaken up and for new experiences to come up, because that's the portion of life. That's the thing of life, is to know that these shakeups allow us to grow on a deeper level, to be more in flow with our path, to be more in flow with our inner divinity. With our inner divinity. But we have to trust and know that something greater is out there, that something better is happening. And we have to trust and know that this is happening for the greatest of myself. Trust reverses. Allow me, divine, to give you my deepest longings. Trusting you know exactly how to handle them. Trusting you know exactly how to handle them. My deepest longings. So we see that there is many colors in this card, because it allows the transformation that oneself has went through, and allow oneself to give the burdens, to give the parts that no longer service you up as a blessing, as an offering. This is in your community. When these blurbs, when these, you might be seeing blurbs, little orbs. You might be seeing little fairy dots. You might be seeing butterflies. And you know girls still cold in Chicago. You might be seeing butterflies in movies. Pay attention to it. Pay attention to the re-emerging of life that is happening within yourself as it is happening within the community. That's allowing you to be more in flow. So you know that when the trees start shedding and green and this life starts coming out, that means you too are going through a process, a shedding process. It's the cyclicalness of life. But that's what we have to be open to, and knowing that, hey, these changes come up because it's time for us to move. Last week we were wondering if we were content. And the contentment, the evaluation allowed us to think about where those memories came from, to think about where our first independence came from. And this week is building off on it, because it allows you to continue to the evaluation process, but allows you to use last week's lesson as a foundation point to growing who you are. Flow to growing who you are. Be more open to your dreams. Be more open to the unconscious thoughts that are coming to you. Write them down. Speak them out. If you feel comfortable, talk about them with someone. But remember that this process, these blurbs that are coming up, it's allowing you to listen to them. Maybe you might haven't been listening to the messages or trusting yourself. Why? I think that you are a magnificent being. And even though we don't always see it, we have to trust and know that there is something out there best for us, that we are continue growing, that we are continue blossoming. And sometimes we don't feel like it, and that's okay. But we have to keep moving. We have to keep going. Because if not, it doesn't just impact you, it impacts the community. It impacts the lineage. It impacts the people who you come in contact with. We don't want you to be limited. Detachment. Come on, divine flow. Come on, faith. Come on, sanctity. I can't make this up. I literally can't make this up because the cards came out like a literal stepping stone. My girl, let me pick this up. Because, like, I can't play. I can't play. It came out like a literal stepping stone. Playing cards and oracle cards said the same thing, sweetheart. Sanctity. The very first thing that we say is we need to do our 3 deep cleansing breaths to return awareness to ourselves, to fill our own selves cup, to be aware of the moment of what's being presented to us. How can you be more present in your body in the moment? Maybe we might be a little anxious or a lot of anxious on what's going on in our environment. We might be overindulging in alcohol and weed and talking and relationships and other people and TV. There is stuff that we need to do. There's stuff that I need to do that I haven't done. But how can we return the safeness, the nourishment to ourselves? How can we fill our own cup? How can we be more aware to our own self? How can we be more aware to our own self? And the messages that are being present in the environment. It's coming down right on us, but it's asking us, are we, it's so much going on. How can we set things in a schedule so we can be more open and be more aware to the blessings to come to us that is around us? After sanctity says, through offering, even the most mundane problem can become a sacrament. Faith. Sep says. Miraculously, amazingly, everything I need always comes. Love is opening me to receive beyond anything that I imagine. But we have to be open to it. Divine flow. Opposition of faith. Sidestep says. Eventually, one sublime desire takes precedence over all others. To flow, to follow the Tao, the divine flow at all costs. How can you cease the chaos around us to give yourself more nourishment? How can you pour into your own cup? What does nourishment look like to you, and how can you give yourself the nourishment that you are seeking? Maybe we might be overly seeking it in relationships. And at that very moment, we need to understand that, is that servicing us to our highest good? Is that servicing us? Is the systems, the resources, are they giving this back to us? Are they taking? Are you being fooled? Maybe you might have had your hands in multiple pots. And now is the time to think, what pot best services me? Long term, longevity. What gives me what I need? How can I keep my energy how I have it? You know, you don't want to be abusing your energy because you have it at this moment to use creatively, purposely. But we have to see it from the bigger picture. We have to take a step back. That's why we have all these standstills. We need to take a step back in not just one area, but in our heart, in our third eye, the way we're really seeing things, in our self-conscious, in our self-confidence. We need to give that awareness, that love that we're seeking to ourselves. We need to honor ourselves. But before we even do that, we need to detach and see the honor and the divinity within. There must be crows around you, and when they're going off and calling, what's going on in your environment? What is that crow signaling to you at that very moment? When crows are around you, what thought did you have? Crows allow you to see things from a bird's eye view. Someone might be psychic, and this is allowing you to tap into your psychic dreams. But first, you have to be open to allowing yourself to realize what's going on. How can you better ground yourself and work on this tool? Detachment says, with detachment, you feel finally whole inside, with or without fulfillment of a particular desire. Ironically, that's when it's often fulfilled. Back at the deck. 3 of Clubs. That's the mental, the tension I was talking about. Remember this week, you all, let's be mindful of the communication that's not being said, the action that's not being said. Let's also be very mindful of our energy and how we are speaking and sharing, and how we are setting definition and boundaries to our own independence. Setting definitions and boundaries to our own independence. Back of the deck, true offering. What does true offering look like to you? And how can you be more open to the maturity, the level of gratitude, the level of understanding that you are now at? And here we need to take a step back to realize of who we actually are. Who are you? And how has your understanding to yourself has grown? True offering reverses. True offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. Have a wonderful week, everyone. And remember to come on the Playful platform of Patreon, where I have talked about the March 5th, 2022 notes that can be used until April 30th, 2022, aka the Pluto retrograde. Bye, everyone.